Hello everybody, this is Bloba coming at you with another MMORPG Tycoon video. We left off last time. It's been a little while. Apologies for the delay in videos, but yes, we left off last time. We were going to be filling this section out, which I think I'm going to make like a nest area. So, if my poor brain can work with me long enough to remember where the eggs are, okay, we'll get in here and we're going to want you to align the surface. This is going to be like the primary nesting area. I should probably put some more of these crystals in before I go too crazy with the eggs. So like I said before, these are like magical things that draw them in. And they found like a nice little secure area back here. And then they're gonna have their nest here. How's that look? Now we'll go back to the eggs. Put it all over and around this kind of central crystal type thing. And then just a few scattered remains where they like feed things to the larvae as they hatch. And then we'll get into decorating these more tight quarters. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm just judging by there's not going to be a lot of room. This is going to be a lot easier to kind of just throw stuff wherever because there's a lot more room here. Back over here with some smaller ones to help kind of fill in the gaps. We have an upgrade. Ooh, we have a brand new upgrade. What are we gonna get? We're gonna get challenges. That seems to be roughly enough of that. So let's start throwing some of these down. That about does it for that type of stuff. Now we can just throw down some normal rocks to help populate the area. go. I think that area is about ready. And then we can plop down our PCs now. We're going to have this area be filled primarily with workers. I mean, not workers, but soldiers. Then we're going to have one elite soldier way back here. Then, did I put down a quest giver over here yet? Thought I did. Yep, I did. Alright. Now this guy is going to ask you for some help. Your mission is going to be thin the warrior. Sounds about right. Change it a little bit and give you 1,000 and like 50 gold. Let me just double check what my other quests were so I know about how much. I think I needed about 7,000. So you have 1,500 for killing warriors. So that's 3,000. You give 2,500. We have 5,000 total. Alright, yeah, we need about 7,000. You're going to get 500 for doing that. And then you're going to get 1,500 for doing this. Brings our new total to 7,000. We have a stream event upcoming. Nice. So yeah, our new total should be 7,500. Or no, just 7,000, sorry. Then you're going to have a special quest. It's going to give a lot of XP and a lot of gold. Destroy the nest. And that will bring our grand total up to 9,000 XP, and we need 11,000. So we're getting closer. Okay, what's your quest line? Do you have anything that sends them back over that way? So you're like, alright, you speak of the room masters, come back to you. He tells you about all that, tells you to help them deal with the Formica nest, and then a little bit of running back and forth, but he'll send you down here. 500. No gold. Invite Varmore to the village. Basically gonna have you go down here, talk to him, and then tell him like, yeah, you've done enough work for us. So you can kind of come over here and check this out. Now he's technically going to be here already because there's no way to like vent that. We're going to actually drop this quest, put its XP on. We don't want another quest. We're going to drop that quest, put its XP onto this quest. Then we're going to kind of give that quest to his new self. This one is going to be 500. Well, I'll name it first. Meet me. Sword, I guess. Best way to describe it. Then I'm going to do a quick calculation on everyone's XP again. You have 3,000. Farmware is 3,000. A random miner guy, miner grit. That's 3,000, so we have 6,000 XP total so far. And then you have 4,500, which brings us nicely to 10,500. And then he's going to have you study the runes of the past. And this will put you at just enough XP if you do all the quests here to level up. And then he'll have a new quest that will send you over this way. But we're not done here, because we want to help flesh out stuff in this direction. This area will probably lay barren for just a little while until I'm ready to move into that region, but I mean, I'm not sure. I might do something with it. Actually, I want to go back here, do something back here for a little bit. Did I already put the flight paths down? I don't think so. I wanted to put some flight paths down. Alright, and now I want to set the price. It's going to be 50 gold because I want this to be very expensive. Like, if you're going to use these flight paths to get around faster, you're going to have to have played for a little bit. And then for some scenery around the flight paths, don't want it to be just barren. Here we have like a little tent. Lined up like a little shelter. Now we're not going to go crazy with what we're going to be throwing around here, but I do want to have at least a little bit. Something to kind of help signify that, yeah, this is, you know, more than a random thing. And then we'll put a generic little warrior here. Go back over here to this flight path. And then do something similar here. May not use the exact same thing we had, but a little bit fancier. This one. Still gonna have like a little couple things of food nearby for the bird. And put him just hanging out. Over here, this is like so much of a frontier. I'm thinking we probably won't have even that many decorations, but we will have like some supplies coming in. You kind of see that this place is getting supplies in. It's like flown in. A little bit of a different aesthetic for each fight path. I think that would be kind of cool. Now for this area, it's not going to have any fight paths because just a fact that it's going to be closed in, so it would make sense to have fight paths. Now over here, I still want to put our guy right here. Has anybody done your quest yet, I wonder? You have not given out any quest in your entire history. So, that's kind of interesting. Wonder if I give you a quest to tell them to go over here. It's like wherever I decide to put you. We're going to put them like in here. Alright, well, like normal. Actually, let's start decorating this little empty spot here. And I think this is going to be like a more rocky outcrop. Probably not the correct word for it, but that's all that comes to mind immediately of what I'm thinking. And there we go. That looks kind of cool, I think. And over here, we'll have a couple things like that at this entrance. Now, in here, we're going to have the queen is going to be at the very back here. Looks like we have a little issue. And that should be fine now. So I'm no expert on how scenery bonuses work. Like, I'm not sure if it's just the more scenery you have, the more players like it, but I imagine that this place, the players are going to be absolutely in love because that I have a ton of scenery objects everywhere, if that is indeed how it works. I would imagine, though, that it might not count as much when you just kind of have a ton of the same scenery object. Gonna work on getting bling up to probably 10, I think. Put down some more rocks. And back here is going to be the Queen's Chamber specifically. So with that being said, I'm going to have a decent few of various types of crystals kind of jutting out from all sides, because the Queen is surrounded by these comforting auras. Scatter these smaller ones about just to kind of help the area feel a little bit more cluttered. And then scatter a couple more rocks around. And then we're going to have our friend's tent set up over here again. Way back here in this little corner. Have a nice little fireplace. Where's the fireplace at? The fireplace campfire, sorry. And then place our like 500th rock, but it's going to be a lot smaller. It's kind of what he's using to just kind of confound it and drag it on over here. Until he's come prepared, he has all kinds of goodies. And then he'll have like a few rocks like kind of set up. That's too big. I want him to kind of have a few rocks set up as like a barrier. Even though this is not actually going to stop players from walking through here, but I think it might look kind of cool. We just have like a nice little barrier around here that he kind of set up to keep his camp safe. Going back to him because I can't remember what model I used. Human Barbarian Dar. Now to get to him, he's gonna be even more isolated and hard to get to than the other one, because you kind of have to be fighting your way through these guys in the first place to even find him. And he should be mostly safe over here. Like, They might occasionally wander out and say hi. And now we need to go make our Formica Queen. Not gonna be a skeleton. Where's our head here? There it is. The body was down at the bottom. Not sure what color we're gonna make the queen yet. That kind of looks cool, I think. Okay, I don't think this stuff matters because this is just for the torso. The head. There, I like those eyes. Just torso size. Quite large. Our arms. Know what they look like. I can't remember exactly where they are, but I do know what they look like. They're like the little praying mantis type arms. Just shrink the head down just a little bit. Move it up some. Arms look pretty spot on. And then the legs. The legs have always been an issue, so let me run back and check what my so we had left leg is 0.1, 0.1, negative 0.1. Alright. And the right leg is 0, 0.10. So 0.1, 0.1, negative 0.1. And then 0.1, and then why did I just put that scale on? Because it doesn't seem to be working quite as cleanly on this model. Not sure what I changed. Right. I think. Now for abilities. Did I put the others as prefabs? Yep. Bite. Grab. And then you had Rend. And then didn't you have like Spit? You have Lightning Spit, so we're gonna go ahead and increase your health to be higher than a warrior's. We have about 15 health. You have 10 mana, 10 rage. Speed is going to be just under a warrior, so 7's fine. Now, we don't have summoning mechanics in the game at the moment, but I want to try to find something that maybe help represent that she has like a little bunch of little servants around to help. Well, let's just see if I can find that before I... Queen's Swarm. This will actually be a ranged attack. It'll be like as if she will have a cast timer and then have a pretty decent cooldown. She'll use mana to cast it. And then it will deal damage over time. Over the 10-second time frame, it'll deal like 3 damage. Cost 3 mana. Send like a little swarm of little workers over there. A swarm of young Formica attack. And then mechanics are solid, I think. I'll go back and compare them in a moment. That's kind of a swarm. Alright, so bite does for 1 damage. This does... that just stuns them in place for 2 seconds. And then we'll also have them be slowed for 10 seconds because of the swarms, like nipping at their heels, if you will. So I don't think this is too powerful because it's supposed to be like a boss enemy. And we will put her down. And your mission will be Monster Hunt Part 2. I'm not going to use the default rewards because it's going to give you a lot more. It's going to be 2,000 XP and not 2,000 gold, but 200 gold. That's going to be a lot. If you find this guy, you will get quite a bit for having to go through all that trouble. And then you... we'll go over here. No gold. We'll say it's worth 500 XP. The hunt goes on. And it just tells you to go there and do that. If you somehow find him, then you'll also find that there's a quest over here. Now that everything is settled, I'm going to go through the arduous task of actually putting down the walls. We have some paths. The smallest wall possible. I don't care so much about these little things because they're not blocking off anything important. But in certain areas, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Probably turn snap on. And we're going to be doing something similar for each of the areas where it is applicable to do so. So we need to deal with this. Should be simple enough. Just plop some rocks down along this path, and that's dealt with. We got to go back into the path tool again, find out where we left off. It is. Right angle, and you can kind of see what you're doing if you get the right angle here. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Oof, alright. Let me grab this, take it around. Almost done with this section. This is like the biggest section, I think. Gonna have to be a little bit blind here. That's kind of, I guess that's trying to tell me that the wall is as far as it can go. Almost done. And finished. That is by far going to be the longest and most difficult, I think. There's a bunch of turns in there. Oh wait, okay, we've already done that. So we need to plop some scenery down. Oh, we have an upgrade. Need to go over here, grab this. Put that there. Put that there as well. This is basically just a little patch job at this point. I am planning on adding a dungeon to this area at some point, whenever the dungeon update comes out. as well. I wanted to kind of have like a little Formica themed dungeon. I thought that would be cool. You can definitely believe, though, when the dungeons come out, I'm going to be all about that. What we had to do is like a weird janky thing there. It's trying to tell me this is... Can't cross this terrain. That's true, then that saves me some trouble. Give me a little bit of a hard time with this one because it's a curvy section. That's way too much. I thought I could just cover it up, but no. And then we just have a few more. Oh no. This one. Stop. So it looks like we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. And there we go. Like we have finally finished with that arduous task. Now, I'm debating on whether or not I want to go ahead and put the roof on this place, or I want to try to flush this little area out. Think I'll just go ahead and put the roof on. Much like over here. This should require a lot less precision than what we were just doing, so it's mostly just going to be about plopping them down, stacking them on top of each other, going back and forth like this. I do want specific places to have things like that place. For example, I want to have a little arc over the top of it. So when you come in, it's not just empty space. Could even make this like a little outcrop. It's probably what I'll do just so we can justify having flight path in here. I think the flight path is something that will really help players out and make the area go a lot smoother. We need to be a little bit careful with the flight path because it might be a little bit difficult for it to actually go where I need it to go. Probably do the fight path last. I'm gonna back up real quick. Delete this sucker because we do not want that. Damn, that was a misclick. We do want to place on objects. We do not want it to fly at the surface per se, but we do want it placed on objects. Okay, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves over here. So I'm gonna start working my way back. And then once we're done, we'll do a little tour of the interior to see how it all turned out, and then also plug any gaps left, because I'm sure there's going to be some gaps. Streamer has connected. Oh, Tenarg is now a streamer. Would you look at that? It tells all kind of people following him around too. Ooh, he's almost level 2. Gotta finish this level 2 area then. Oh, we have a upgrade point. Put it to bling. Place on objects again. Sorry if this episode has been a little bit more tedious, busy work. But it's just one of those things, you know. Just part of the game. But at the end, if you wanted to fast forward through, that's okay. And then I'll meet you at the end where we do a little tour, as I was saying before. Might try to make a area where the tree idea I had, like a giant tree sticking out of the cave, is still a possibility. I still like that idea. It's just I ended up doing something different with the particular room. So far, 2 misclicks for anyone keeping track at home. I'm just surprised there hasn't been more already because this is a lot of clicking. And it is tempting to just start spam clicking everywhere, but you kind of got to be a little bit precise. Not to say that it's like the most difficult job you're ever going to do. It's more tedious than anything, but if you do let your brain turn off, as it's like heavily encouraging. Oh, third misclick. Even when, say, I wasn't even focusing completely there, but if you do let your brain turn off and not focus on every little thing you do, then you will probably get some misclicks. And it's one of those hard tasks where it's like it's super tedious. And if you could just blindly turn your brain off and do it, it would be way, way easier. But it's like, no, you have to have your brain on for this, sorry. Now, I'm actually going to leave that region over there unroofed because I'm not 100% on what I'm going to do with it. I might even delete a lot of the pillars I put down there and then focus instead on a different aesthetic for it, kind of like leaving the cave again like I had at the other place with the little Root Master Village. Until I'm sure what I'm going to do with that aesthetic, we're going to leave that be for now. That's the fourth misclick. Hopefully there won't be much more because we're almost done. Fifth misclick. Guess I'm just getting too excited about it almost being done and then you're going in there and actually looking at everything. And then now that bling is up to 10, we're going to start working on fluff again because we really want people to start exploring more because we do have these like hidden monster hunter quests, and then I'm probably going to have even more hidden quests besides from that. Future zones, and might even go back to old zones if I can get a particular inspiration for any quest or as new updates come out. They might give me more content or more reason to go back to old zones. Alright, and I believe that's the last placement before we actually go. I didn't realize that this was a little bit more placement there. And now we're going to go in. Looking pretty good. That's kind of cool. Like I see that there's a hole there, but I actually kind of like that. We have a couple of holes above us. So I will patch. We don't want you just floating in midair. It might make me try to live with these holes because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to patch them. Yep, there we go. We can patch them. Now we will probably come through and decorate the roof as well. Oh, just fill that in. Overall, we didn't have that many gaps. I was expecting there to be a lot more. That one gap, like I said, was kind of cool looking. That's a pretty glaring one. I need to just put a really big rock there. We can lower it back down to normal sized. Another big gap. This place actually turned out even better than I thought it would. Like, I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be what I wanted it to look like, but I'm very happy with the final result. It's just, like the saying goes that, if you're working on something, even if it's going to turn out amazing, it might not look that way when you're working on it. But the aesthetic that just being in a cave provides, I think, is very heavily nailed here. Here's an area I think I just completely missed when I was doing it. It's one of the biggest gaps. Very small gap that we can plug with like one small rock. Come out this way. Everything looks basically solid. Alright. I think we'll probably handle whatever's left for the decorating the next episode, and maybe find out what we're going to do with that last little half there, and then maybe put the flat paths down and such like that. But until then, this has been Bloba signing off. Hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. God bless. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.